Thank you, Chairwoman, and thank you for allowing me to be part of this important hearing for some of us who come from the islands. I come from Puerto Rico. I live in Puerto Rico, and I grew up in Puerto Rico. I was working for the former governor of Puerto Rico when Hurricane Hugo impacted the island. And I am amazed, frustrated. I do not understand why it has taken this long, 2 years, and the hurricane season is it started in July, to see that not a single permanent project is in the pipeline to be rehabbed. Homeland Security held a hearing just the other day, and we had the acting administrator, Peter Gaynor, indicating that the responsibility for the delay in the reimbursement to municipalities in Puerto Rico or defective implementation of FEMA-funded programs was due to R3's lack of capacity and communication. So, Mr. Marrero, can you please explain to me what type of communications do you maintain with FEMA, and what have been the challenges in the coordination of processes between both agencies?
Excellent. First of all, Velazquez, thank you very much for all the work for the people of Puerto Rico and commitment that you have with the people of Puerto Rico. Well, first of all, I'm a little bit appalled with those declarations. I'm going to be honest. Since day one, we have been working very diligently in making sure that whatever we have been requested, we deliver and excel. That includes the Build Back Better document that we provided back in November 2017 while we were responding to the immediate needs of the people of Puerto Rico. Not only that, with approval of the BBA back in February 2008, we were required to develop a full recovery plan, and we did it in a timely fashion, and we also did it not only with the collaboration of FEMA, other agencies. We made it also consistent with the fiscal plan certified by the Oversight Board. Not only that, we were required to establish a centralized oversight authority with that Central Office of Recovery. We did it based on the model of Louisiana, New York, New Jersey, Mississippi, and many other world locations. Not only that, we were also required to hire third-party experts because we didn't have the knowledge and expertise, even though we have managed federal funding in the past without any finding. We conducted very robust procurement processes, and we ended up having a top-notch team that includes Deloitte for the financial controls.
So are you telling me that there is no reason as to why the money has not made it to Puerto Rico?
The reason why the money has not, by the way, we did all that, and because of that, we were able to take over the reimbursement process. I know that you remember that since day one, FEMA controlled the reimbursement process in Puerto Rico as opposed to other states. We developed the policies, procedures,
and why
and
is
control.
that?
Because the fiscal condition of Puerto Rico. They thought
so
that—
you have done everything that you've been asked,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
yet the people of Puerto Rico are subjected to the delay, putting lives at risk once again. So let's talk about Vieques, the hospital in Vieques. As we know, the Navy used Vieques as a, for military practices. There is environmental contamination in Puerto Rico. The Navy was out of Vieques under George W. Bush. Promises were made, and still here we are with a hospital that is not operational, with the challenge of the lack of transportation for the people of Vieques to go to the mainland Puerto Rico to get medical services. Have you received, because all I have seen is a press release that was put out by FEMA. After, first, they say we're going to rebuild, we're going to build a new hospital, then they came back and they say we're going to rebuild whatever you have left of a hospital in Puerto Rico. I complained and I demanded a new facility, and just recently they issued a press release saying that they concurred that they should have a new hospital. Have you received any formal communication from FEMA?
No, ma'am, we're still waiting for the formal determination letter as well as the final number.
Okay, my next question is, considering that 90% of federal contract spending for disaster relief and recovery has been awarded to firms on the mainland, I would like to know what you're doing and what plans do you have to facilitate local contracting. We have the best engineers, we have great construction companies in Puerto Rico that have done work in other Caribbean islands. We need to promote economic development.
Yes,
we have to provide a level playing field for those Puerto Rican contracting firms to be able to get into the federal contracting.
Thank you so
with
much,
the federal
Congressman Velazquez. You can go ahead and answer this question, but
Sure.
Thank you.
I couldn't agree more with you. I come from a family with a mom shop. So that's the reason how we were able to move forward. So definitely, even though there's some constitutional limitation, Congresswoman, we really want to make sure that this is not about disaster recovery only. This is about economic recovery. This is a moonshot opportunity for the people of Puerto Rico to make sure that we do it the right way. So what we have done, well, first of all, we increased the minimum wage in the construction industry to make sure that we have more folks in the construction industry. Second, as part of the action plan that we developed for the CDBG funds, we also included construction loans and other mechanisms in order to allow local companies to have the financial bandwidth in order to participate in the processes, because many of the requirements on the FEMA and HUD side will require some bonding requirement that local company will not be able to satisfy. So that's why we're really making sure that we use not only FEMA program, but also CDBG programs to make sure that the local companies are well equipped, because as you mentioned, we have to make sure that we get it right. So once the significant funding is used, what's going to happen? Well, we have to make sure that the people of Puerto Rico are trained, and I agree, they're top-notch professionals, not only to help in Puerto Rico, but if something happens tomorrow in California, New York, Florida, or Texas, the Puerto Rican companies can also participate.